Hello and welcome back to the show, everybody. Those clips were taken from today's episode where we're talking all about intimacy, why you may struggle with intimacy and how you can create more in your life.
Let's talk about sex, baby.
And not that kind of intimacy, really. I mean, that plays into it. But yeah, people always think intimacy, they just think, oh, right, sex in the bedroom.
Yeah, literally. But that's not what we're talking about today.
No. We're talking about like life intimacy. Intimacy with yourself, with your friends, relationships, even family.
Yeah, and new people that you meet. Because you can tell the people that you meet that are like, they're so guarded. Like even like just a casual acquaintance. And they're like...
That's very true. The guy that served me in Lidl this morning, honestly, he was like, bless his soul, I'm not judging him, but he was like, hi, he was doing this to everyone, hi, you're right. But like his body language, everything he was saying was like, don't talk to me. Don't engage with me. But it was like, hi, you're right. And I just thought that in my head, like, your body language and how you kind of show up to someone says a lot about like whether you're willing to get into a conversation or be intimate. Yeah. You know, sometimes it's not even about your words or what you're saying.
Yeah.
Poor little guy in Lidl.
You should have told him to listen to the episode.
I was thinking, probably because I was thinking about intimacy as well. I was like, be intimate with me.
Check out, boy.
Okay, if you could hear this, you'd absolutely think I was crazy.
You might be a secret listener.
He might be.
Shout out, check out, boy.
And now I'm going to get like a restraining order.
Yeah. No, it's true because like I think there's like certain people that like will walk down the street and people will like talk to them, won't they? Because they've probably got that open sort of body language, and then but I mean that's not always true because sometimes men heckle you or try and talk to you when you quite obviously don't want to be spoken to.
Yeah, that's
but they're just not reading the room.
No, they're not.
So what is intimacy?
So what is intimacy, guys? Well, I personally define intimacy as emotional vulnerability.
Yeah.
And allowing people to see the real you for what you are. And I think that just in itself, allowing people to get close to you, seeing the real you, and just step into that vulnerability just transforms your life in so many ways, not just relationships.
Yeah. What
is intimacy to you?
Intimacy to me, I think it's sex. Such a stupid joke. We are bare childish. No, I think it's about authenticity and like really stepping into your authentic self and allowing the world to see that and experience that pure authentic you. Because a lot of people like struggle with authenticity and being their true self. So
I get that.
What I think it is about.
Because as well, you could show up to the world and be intimate and try and be intimate, but if you're not actually being your authentic true self, that's not true intimacy.
No.
And I think there's always like a cap on that.
Yeah, definitely.
So definitely that, authenticity plays a massive role in intimacy.
Yeah. So this episode is like structured around like how to bring more intimacy into your life with other people. But actually like I think a lot of it stems with you first. Because if you aren't comfortable with your authentic self, then you're definitely going to avoid being intimate with anybody else and letting them actually see the real you. Yeah. So I think a lot of the tips we're going to give are like about other people and how to improve it, but I think so much of it stems from how intimate are you with yourself first. Like,
yes, so true. And that's something we can definitely learn and develop. But I think let's start off with the signs that you may struggle. Some people might be thinking like, do I struggle with intimacy? I don't have a clue. So here are just some like general signs. I think like the overarching one really is to avoid vulnerability and to not allow people to get too close to you in relationships and friendships. And like definitely in relationships, you can see where this may play a role where people may fall in love and they struggle with intimacy. And it's the pain of actually stepping into vulnerability which is holding them back. It's not that they don't want to be intimate, but it's like if you can't be vulnerable with somebody else, which can be really, really hard, that will like automatically stop intimacy.
No, definitely. You know, Brené Brown. I don't listen to that much of her really. I have a little bit, but she doesn't. I don't connect with her that much.
I know what you mean. I know she's a legend, but I don't connect with her that much.
But I mean, maybe I will later in life or something. Maybe it's a fit. Maybe it's a stage you get to. I don't know. But I do know she's very well thought of anyway, but she's like well known for talking about vulnerability and like encouraging people to be vulnerable. So I guess she's probably a good person to go and listen to if you want to learn more about that specific thing. But I think that vulnerability is what actually improves your relationships. Do you know, you have better ones if you are vulnerable, because if you show that person that you're a human too, with flaws and like, and then they're allowed to be that as well, and like you're just more relaxed and everything's better, you know, like rather than like I'm fine or whatever it is that you're hiding. We're all the same. We're literally all the same. We've all got the same fears. We've all got the same insecurities. We've all got the same like shitty thoughts, just in different like formats. But we all have the same shit. And it's like when you just, I don't know, like let someone else know that and not pretend to have it all together or be perfect, then that person is allowed to be a human too.
Yeah, so true. It like releases a judgment.
Yeah.
So I think, especially with vulnerability, I think it's that fear of like, I don't want to be vulnerable and show the real me, because like, what if I get rejected? What if I'm too much? What if you think I'm crazy? But exactly, if you step into that vulnerability and you say, this is me, I'm human, I'm flawed, it allows everyone around you to do the exact same, and that creates such a deeper connection, such more understanding.
Yeah. So obviously I think the biggest reason of why you would struggle with intimacy is definitely a fear of rejection. Like, and I think what you're fearing being rejected about like completely depends on so many different factors. But like, so it could be that you're just scared to be yourself because you weren't allowed to be yourself when you were growing up or something, like you were always told to stop doing that or change or whatever. Like there's so many things, or maybe you got bullied, or maybe in a past relationship like that partner was horrible and like they said horrible things to you, or like about yourself, your parents, like, so it will be hard. Like you can see so easily why so many people would struggle with this.
Yes, completely.
Yeah. And
just another like really kind of like body language sign is things like avoiding eye contact. And once you start talking about eye contact, then you realise how much you're making eye contact.
Yeah, we're staring into each other's eyes. Well, Abby's avoiding
I can't handle the intimacy. Could you imagine we tried to do a full episode just looking into each other's eyes? That'd probably be a really bizarre episode. If anybody's not watching the video right now, me and Grace is staring intensely into each other's eyes. You just broke
it.
I did break it.
Do you know that cats, have you heard about this?
I've heard something about that. I don't know.
Yeah, cats, they stare each other out. The first one to look away is the least dominant or something. So like if you want to assert your dominance to a cat,
yeah, you stare them out.
You're meant to stare and not to turn away until they turn away first. And then if they turn away first, they know that you're the more dominant one. So if your cat's, you keep looking away from me.
Sorry, I don't know.
No, I do. I do. So yeah, if you're like, if your cat's, if she's taking the piss, she's not respecting you, just stop doing that.
Well, no, I read that ages ago, but I thought it was that they get like intimidated. So when I'm looking into my cat's eyes and I'm looking at her with love, and then I always think, oh my god, she probably thinks I'm going to kill her, so then I look away because I don't want to scare her.
Oh, so you want her to? Well, Benji is a girl. Is it a boy?
I'm just talking about Scylla. I know she's dead now, but I just reminiscing on the past. Yeah, no. So then, because dogs love it when you look into their eyes, but whereas cats, they see it as like a
threat.
Yeah.
Why do dogs love
cats
it?
need to work on their intimacy.
Yeah, they do. They need to listen to.
I don't know. I think dogs just they just love love, don't they?
Yeah, they're just like got pure open heart chakras.
Yeah.
They're just ready to receive love and give love so willingly.
Yeah, they are.
Whereas cats, they play, hard to get. They're hot and cold. They might come and like cuddle you for a bit, and then the next minute they're scratching you.
They're
they keep you on your toes. Yeah, they're toxic. Tangent, but yeah, avoiding eye contact.
Yeah, avoiding eye contact is a big one because it automatically says, and I'm not talking about just on like a small scale, I'm just talking about maybe people that like really struggle with eye contact, and it's that feeling of like, don't look at me, because if you look at me, you might either see the real me, you might see what's actually going on in my mind, you might see into my soul. It's actually really subconscious, but it's like a huge sign that you struggle to step into that intimacy because you can't even look somebody in the eye.
I think that it's it's not, I think it's with the people that do it, I think it's not a choice that they do it. Like it's definitely like they probably don't even realise that they do.
And then
now we're talking about this. Staring at each other. Staring at me, so looking in my soul. Yeah, but please can you tell everyone about what you do?
Yeah. So like, I think I spoke about this on the podcast, did I?
I can't remember.
Have I not?
No, no.
Oh, I wrote an email about it.
Oh, did you? We have spoken about it with Ella Ringrose on an episode 4 because she'd been doing it.
Oh, yeah.
With people, and we were like...
Oh, like the shapeshift and stuff.
Yeah, and we were like... she was like, you two need to do it, and we still never did it.
Yeah, we do need to do it. I don't know why are we avoiding this intimacy? I don't know. We do look into each other's eyes quite a lot, but yeah, we do need to do it for like 4 minutes.
Yeah, 4? Is that how long?
That's how long people say. I mean, I've done it for longer than 4, but I think 4 is meant to be.
What's your world record?
World record? I don't have a clue. Probably quite long though. Well, basically, so
how's quite long? That's so vague.
Sorry, I was just thinking in my head. No,
well, everyone's probably thinking, what the fuck are you talking about? We're not even told them what we're talking.
That's why I was just going to tell them now. So it makes sense. So yeah, on my course, on this training course that I'm doing to do like healing and stuff, one thing you have to do to like invite people into the group is to stare into their eyes for like literally feels like an eternity.
What an icebreaker.
Exactly. They were like, right, we're gonna all introduce ourselves, and I was thinking, oh right, okay, right, my name is Abby, I come from, and it's like, no, you're literally like, hi, I'm Abby, and then you have to stare into their eyes, and it sounds so bizarre, but it is like really magical, like it's crazy. So yeah, I had to do that with the whole group, and then obviously after that I was thinking a lot, like thinking, oh my god, looking into people's eyes is actually like wow, because like with the people in the group, and you guys will just have to go and try this, but when you're looking into someone's eyes, you kind of like fall into them a bit, and with
in love?
No, not necessarily. You fall into that vulnerability though, and you see someone, and like with a lot of the people I did it with, like you see their pain, you might see their suffering, but you have to then actually decide if it's yours or theirs, because you're looking into someone's eyes, it's like your energies get muddled, and you'll feel each other's feelings, and like I mean, no one has to go and do this, but like say in that course, you have to decide whether it's yours or theirs, which is quite interesting in itself. But yeah, so I was like, wow, this is mad. Like, people don't look into each other's eyes enough. Because I was like, how have I just looked into all these strange eyes for like 4 minutes? I never do this with people. So then I went and said to my boyfriend, I was like, we're going to have to start doing this on a regular basis. And we actually did for ages, and we've like not been doing it as much recently. So we need to get back doing it.
Do you like lie down? Don't mean with the people in the group, but like with your boyfriend. I don't want to say his name in case he doesn't want to be named. Keep it private and that. Okay. Well, anyway, we won't name him for privacy reasons. Do you like lie down and do it, or do you sit and stare at each other like that? Because if you're doing it for quite a long time, you might.
Yeah, most of the time.
You want to lean on something.
I think I've done it led down a few times, but we've more done it like sat, like intertwined.
Oh.
Not naked, just sat. You don't like how you...
Oh, okay, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, you were doing this.
No, I know, because we're laughing
just doing
about
scissor
sex.
hand movements.
But that's basically what it is, like a non-sexual
yeah,
scissor.
Yeah.
There's actually a word for that kind of hook. I don't know what it is. But because that as well, I think that creates even more like complete focus when you're like completely...
Literally like
bodies
touching
aligned.
bodies, yeah.
But I'm sure, well, there's definitely studies.
So if me and you do we need to do that? So we just wrap our legs around each other?
I mean, we can if you want. I don't know if that's more like a
bit too far.
Sexual thing, well, a relationship thing. But no, there are loads of studies on this that just looking into someone's eyes for 4 minutes does create so much more intimacy. And you enter like this new level of understanding someone. And as well, lots of weird things can happen. Yeah, we need to do it. Lots of weird things can happen, like shape shifting, face shape shifting. My boyfriend's face has completely shape shifted to like some old man before. I was like, what the fuck?
Oh my
god! And it also, one of his eyes always like go as well, like
Rumpelstiltskin.
He always laughs at that. No, honestly, it does. It like merges. Also, like when I did it with my boyfriend once, which was Matt, he had done like some psychedelic mushrooms, but literally only a small amount. He wasn't like tripping or anything like that. He was just chilling, and we were like, oh my god, let's do the eye thing. I didn't have anything whatsoever.
Why did you not have it if he had it?
Because you want to do it in like a safe environment. So if he had it, and then if he was like, oh my God, because he doesn't do it regularly. So if he was like, oh my God, I feel like I'm tripping, you won't want me to be doing it because they didn't want to feel safe.
Oh, right.
So
okay.
if
two people freaking out.
Yeah, exactly.
Staring into each other's eyes.
I didn't want to do it then anyway. I was just happy with my brew. So I sat there with a brew and I was like, yeah, let's look into each other's eyes and like stare into each other's eyes. And I started like seeing everything was like moving, all the colours were moving, like everything was like, you know, when everything looks like it's breathing, like as if I was on psychedelics, but I was just looking into his eyes. So like, I don't have an answer to that. That is like some weird thing going on. But if you're like quite intuitive, if you're into all that, then go around, start looking into people's eyes, because you never know what you're going to see.
My God.
It's weird, isn't it? Because I was thinking about it the other day and I was like, that was so weird how I felt like I was on psychedelics, but it was just from looking into his eyes. It's as if he was like telepathically showing me the image of what he was seeing, but I was just seeing it through his eye.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's crazy.
Disclaimer, we are not condoning drug use or pushing drugs. Please don't take drug advice from us.
No, if you want to do psychedelics, go and do your own research. But if you're in a relationship, definitely, and with your friends, try the eye thing.
Do mushrooms and stare into your other's eyes. I'm joking.
Try 4 minutes. Try it with your parents.
Ugh.
That should be a new task.
Mate, I think I'd need about 12 years of therapy after that. Sorry, is that really horrible? Is that really bad?
Just make it sound like they're like absolute monsters.
Oh, I should make it be well awkward.
Yeah, well,
I think a lot of people find that
that's
well
that's why I
awkward.
said parents, because I feel like friendships, yeah, relationships, but it's
Yeah,
like,
because it's like, funny, let's do this thing with.
parents, they're like, what the hell? What is this generation doing?
Yeah, I don't think I'd ever be able to convince them to do it. I don't know if I'd even want to.
No, I mean,
want to stare
but that's
into
the thing.
my mum's eyes. I mean, I love my mum. She's sound.
But that's what I mean. It's like, it's the point of like getting uncomfortable. Like what you might not want to do. You might think, oh, well, wow, I don't want to look into my mum's eyes. But it's like, that creates a deeper connection. Even if you're like, why am I doing
well
this?
close to my mum though, but I don't want to stare into her eyes.
Why though?
Because it's just cringy to with your mum, I think. Do you not think?
But you're not
or
just
am I
thinking
being
that's...
emotionally unavailable? Am I being intimate?
No, it's fine if you think it's cringy, but I think is that, yeah, that like, what it's like, why do you think it's cringy?
Because it's your mum.
But, but why? I'm going to get my mum to do it. And she's going to freak out. I'm going to give her a lesson in
my mum would
vulnerability.
probably do it. I just am like, I don't know.
Fair. Well, go and try it with your parents, guys, and see what they say. Some parents might be well up for it. They might have always wanted to look into your eyes. But moving on from that, another little sign is using humour as a self-defense mechanism. And I don't mean like everybody stop laughing right now. I mean where...
making jokes, no fun.
Yeah, I mean this podcast would really work with it. But no, I mean more like if you're in a serious situation, or there's like, you're trying to have an emotionally vulnerable conversation, or someone's trying to have one with you, and you are basically just using humour to really deflect them and to stop them in their tracks before they get too close. Like, it's just a complete defense mechanism.
Yeah.
And it's usually like, they do say like the people that are the funniest cracking all those jokes could actually be in the most pain.
Yeah.
Which is sad.
But you were saying as well, there's like another side to it though.
Yeah, with humour as well. Like used within healing can be really healthy as well.
Yeah.
Elaine,
shout out Elaine, hashtag. This episode is sponsored by Elaine's tarot reading.
You know, if you listen regularly, you know that we always mention Elaine.
Big up Elaine.
I was going to say our tarot reader. We probably will
literally
go back
had
to her.
one session with her. Yeah, I'll definitely go back.
She's our tarot reader now. She's amazing. But yeah, she said to me that like how humour is so important within healing, because when you laugh, it creates like a vibration in your throat chakra, which creates like a vibration which opens you up to healing. I don't know if I've explained that exactly how she did, but basically using laughter and a little bit of humour is actually really important when you're in like a very serious emotional
do
state.
you not notice as well, like, I think it's such a natural human thing to do that as well, because if you notice, like, do you remember when you were younger and you'd have a big crying fit about something or whatever, like you just cry, and then afterwards then you let all the cry out and you feel so much better, and you snot your face and you've cried and your top's all wet, and you're like and you stop doing all that, you stop hyperventilating, and then the person that's soothing you, then you start joking together, and you start laughing, and then you're like, and you go back and play. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it like releases the seriousness a bit.
Yeah. What I think as well was funny is because like our podcast, we talk about quite a lot of serious topics quite regularly, but I feel like 90% of the time we always joke whilst we're doing it.
Yeah.
Which I think is nice.
Yeah, it is.
It's just like naturally what we're like, what we do. But I think maybe it brings healing to those that are listening.
Yeah, it probably does it, because say if they're listening to an episode and there's something really deep, or they're like, oh my God, I do that, or like feeling a bit triggered or something, and then like you crack a little joke just naturally, and that opens them up more to it, and it helps it settle more.
Yeah, because we got a lot of messages about the episode that came out before this one. No, 2 episodes before this one, which was the simple tools to protect your mental health. And we were literally, not on purpose, just naturally, we're like joking and taking the piss through the whole episode about not taking the piss out of mental health stuff, but like about ourselves and just other random shit that we were just talking about in the conversation throughout it. But actually, like, if you strip that back, that's quite a serious conversation, really. Like, as in, it's not, because it is in a way, because you're talking about like, mental health's really important, obviously, and we're giving like advice and tools, but we laugh the whole way through. It's like, but that conversation, like, loads of people are like, oh, I really needed that, like, do you know, and maybe it hit different because there was laughter involved. They were opening their throat chakras to the healing.
Exactly. You literally just never know. And the last little sign that you might struggle with intimacy is that you struggle to see other people in pain or upset because you won't let yourself go there, which I think is really important. It's like, just to give some context, I mean, in the sense of like, say you see someone and maybe they're crying, they're in pain, and you kind of like, one, minimize their pain in a way by saying like, oh, get a grip or something, because you,
when you're talking about it, so just further context for everyone for this layered conversation, when you're talking about this, when you're saying, do you mean like you'd be like, oh, stop crying, you're fine?
I mean it like
what do you mean?
I mean it from like 2 angles. So I mean it from like that, like, oh, like, why are you crying? Like, get over it a bit, because you wouldn't, harsh. Yeah, because you almost wouldn't let yourself go there. But I don't even mean saying it, maybe thinking it in your head, thinking, oh, why are you being so dramatic? Because like, yes, this person's upset, but you wouldn't let yourself go there. So you're like, you're struggling to see them in that. Okay. But then I also mean just like from the sense of like, say some, even like in a parent dynamic, they may like really struggle to see someone upset. They might say, oh, don't cry, oh, don't do this, like, because it pains them so much to see somebody else like that, but they're not letting themselves feel the pain, so that they don't want to be in that situation. Whereas the other person might be like really healthily just releasing some energy of sadness. Yeah.
And when people cry, I'm like, fucking let it out, man.
Yeah. But it's like all these things as well. It's like, if you feel really uncomfortable around people crying, it doesn't make you like a bad person or anything. I'm not saying like,
some people don't want to see people cry because they feel that, oh, please, I really want you, like, I don't want you to be upset.
Yeah,
I don't want to see
like
like someone I love being upset, whatever, like thinking like that.
That's completely natural. But yeah, I mean more like it's like a subconscious, like, I don't want to see you like that because I won't even let myself go there.
Well, I guess as well, it probably makes more sense. Like if someone, say it's your friend or you're in a relationship or whatever, and they're like coming to you with a deep issue, like as if something that they want to talk about because they like trust you, like whatever, like that's what you do. And they're saying, oh, I feel like this about this. And it's vulnerable. And then you can't even hold space to have that conversation because you cannot meet your own emotions in that.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like sense. It's actually like a lack of tools, like just because you've never done that before, you're not used to it.
Not because you're a dick.
Exactly. Yeah, not because you're a dick. So that is a perfect example of something that could potentially ruin relationships. Yeah. If you don't have the tools to do that because you've never grown up and known how to hold space for others, then you can shut people down.
Just quickly back to the eyes thing. Can I ask you a question? Yeah. Now that you do your course, your energy healing course, for everyone listening, and how far are you into it now? How many months have it been?
I think that about halfway now.
Yeah. So obviously you're developing your learnings as you are going through the course. The eyes thing, when you're staring in people's face shapeshift, do you know more of the you're saying like you got to figure out whether you're feeling their energy or if it's your energy you're bringing. Do you remember that person who when I saw Rumpelstiltskin on someone when I was looking at, I wasn't literally on purpose staring into someone's eyes, but like I was just, why is that? Everyone's like, what are you talking about? Like I wasn't on purpose staring into someone's eyes, but it was just like just talking, having a conversation, just looking at each other, and then I felt like I could see Rumpelstiltskin, little fairy tale character. But it wasn't obviously actually Rumpelstiltskin, but it just was giving me Rumpelstiltskin energy.
Yeah, I know, I get you. I think it could be a whole range of things.
Was I bringing Rumpelstiltskin into the mix?
No.
Was it me bringing fairy tale characters into the situation?
No, I mean that more of like with shape-shifting and face and stuff. I don't know much about that, but quite a lot of it can be to do with like past lives.
So he was Rumpelstiltskin.
Yes. So you were with Rumpelstiltskin. No, it can be like, so like when someone's face is shapeshifting, you might see like past lives, stuff like that. But that's just like one reason. In terms of you seeing Rumpelstiltskin,
is it just my imagination being booky?
Maybe it depends how this person like looked at that time, because you might have just glanced and just thought, did it actually look like his face almost merged into Rumpelstiltskin, or did he just look like Rumpelstiltskin?
Yeah, it was just like I was kind of looking at this person's face from sort of a different like angles, moving around. Making this sound really touchy on it. Like you know when you're just like chilling, like watching TV and stuff, you're like lying down or whatever. Like you're not always literally sat straight opposite someone, like you're at a table or something. Yeah. So yeah, this person's face was at a different angle. So I was seeing their face at a different angle. I thought, holy shit, is Rumpelstiltskin here? It was really weird. It freaked me out. Bro.
Yeah, I do remember you telling me like the next day, and I couldn't stop laughing.
Yeah. It's made me weird. Anyway, well, the Rumpelstiltskin mystery continues then.
Yeah, because sorry, I don't really have an answer for that. But what I was saying when you said was you bringing Rumpelstiltskin, I mean that more from like, just from not like past life stuff. More like if I was looking into your eyes, I might get like, not like you, but say for example, I might get like grief or something, and I'm like, I'm feeling grief, and it might be because you had lost someone.
Oh,
and
so you feel my energy.
Yeah, and I'm literally feeling your grief. But then a lot of people can get muddled up and thinking, oh my god, I'm feeling this like emotion. What is it? But in my learning, I'm learning to be like, okay, that's not mine.
Because you're learning how to heal people, so you need to know.
Yeah, exactly. Because I don't want to like hold space for people and then have all my shit coming up and then thinking, oh my god, and it's all very muddled. I need to like be of service to that person and know what's theirs and what's mine.
Interesting. How are you feeling, Abby? Are you feeling healthy? Are you feeling nutritionally?
I'm feeling good.
You feeling good?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because I've had my AG greens this morning.
You have. Did you know, guys, that 90% of adults are deficient in at least one vitamin or mineral? Shocking!
It is.
That is why we love taking Athletic Greens, which is a greens powder. It's so easy to take. 1 scoop into our little cute water bottle, fill it up to the line, shake, drink it, out for your morning walk, energised, ready to go. It's so good. It's one of the biggest benefits I've actually seen since I've started consistently taking Athletic Greens every single morning is the balanced energy levels. Like I'm staying like consistent all day. I'm not having dips. I'm not getting like really hangry. Like it's because it's got every vitamin in it. It's an all-in-one supplement. So you don't have to take multiple things. You just take this 1 scoop of greens powder. It gives you every single thing that you need. And all the ingredients are so high quality. It's just filling me up with everything that I need. Then I'm not getting like random cravings for other stuff. And I just feel so much better. My energy is so much more stable, which is great because we're running 2 businesses now and I need stable, focused energy all day.
Yeah, it's a complete game changer. And I also love how it's like an all-in-one thing. You don't have to be getting all your different pills out in the morning thinking, have I taken this? Have I got enough zinc? Have I got enough that? Like, it's just stressful. And I think as well, we're in this day and age where everyone's saying you need more of each thing. But
and you're like, well, what dosage? You're confused.
It's too much. It's too much brain power. So AG just sorts it all out for you, which I absolutely love. And in just one scoop of Athletic Greens, you're absorbing 75 quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day in the perfect way. This special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and even your aging. I mean, what more could you possibly want? Not only that, it is very lifestyle friendly. So whether you are keto, paleo, vegan, dairy free, or gluten free, you can all have Athletic Greens. So I'm personally dairy free, but I have Athletic Greens every day and I absolutely love it.
But don't just take our word for it. Athletic Greens has over 7,000 five-star reviews and is recommended by professional athletes and really well-known people in the wellness world, such as Mr. Andrew Huberman, who I fucking love that guy. I'm listening to all his hacks.
He's amazing.
All his hacks on his podcast and learning so much. I'm feeling healthier. And he takes this every single day as well. And he knows his shit. And Athletic Greens also uses the very best of the best products based on the latest science, product iterations, and third-party testing. So the formula is constantly being updated to make sure it's optimal and the absolute best that you can be taking in a greens powder, best on the market.
So if you want to start your own journey with Athletic Greens, we of course have a discount for you. So Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase.
5 free travel packs?
5. All you have to do is go to athleticgreens.com/find-your-feet. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/find-your-feet to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance.
So that was all of the signs and a million different tangents about Rumpelstiltskin and magic mushrooms and loads of other shit about why you might struggle with intimacy. But we just wanted to talk about why intimacy is important. So if you are someone that struggles, you just heard us like list a few things there and you think, oh, I actually do a lot of that. Well, what is the motivation for me to try and change? This is why. Tell me why.
Well, I think the main thing is if you're willing to be vulnerable and intimate, it just makes your relationships better.
Yes.
Because like, we'll circle back to what we said at the start. Yeah, if you're just willing to be open and be authentically you allow other people to be that. And that just creates more ease in your life.
Yeah. 100% totally 1000% agree with you. Another really, well, it's just self-explanatory and simple, isn't it? Is it? Or maybe some people think, no, it's not. What are you talking about?
The next point.
No, it improves relationships.
Yeah, no, they might not have realised that.
Maybe we need to unpack it some more.
Yeah.
Should we circle back round? Jane, I need to stop doing that. Taking the piss out of the podcaster words that people take the piss out of. No, it does. It does improve your relationships because circling back to what we said at the start. No, but like what I was saying right at the beginning when I was like, you just show that you're a real human with flaws and all this stuff, and then that person's like, you know, like as well. Do you know what I literally am like, yes, like fist pumping for these kind of people. Like all the girls that I'm like, I feel like I see most of them on TikTok, to be honest now, but that have got so many different body shapes, like so many, you know, they call it like mid-size, like, so they have like pages like mid-size fashion. So it's like, you might see an outfit on Hailey Bieber, but it's like, what does it look like on a girl that's like a size 12 or a 14 or whatever, and styling up the outfits like that. And anyway, not just fashion stuff, but also just like literal like body positivity. Like there's like multiple influences on TikTok of girls that are like just show their bellies and stuff, like, you know, like, because we always see girls that have got like washboard little stomachs and stuff like that, and I'm like, great if that's what you look like, but like not a lot of people genetically are like that. And anyway, it's these girls, like these women that are, they're literally showing their body, like literally shaking their bellies in pictures and stuff. Yeah. And they're going, it's so cute, I love it. And like you see them like fully loving and accepting their bodies, and like their, let's say, flaw. It's not a flaw at all, but like society's narrative, as we've all like unconsciously absorbed growing up, is that is a flaw, that like suck in, look skinny, did it, you know. And they're like, no, look at my rolls, they're cute as fuck and I love them, like, and I think I look really sexy, and I'm like, yes, you fucking do, girls. But like that's them being vulnerable, and they're building like connection with like their audience, their community, all these other people online, and like allowing other people to feel confident in how they look. Do you know what I mean? So I'll say like more recently I've like had not bad, but struggled a bit with my body image a little bit recently, like felt more insecure than I have before in the past. And it's so weird because then I go on TikTok, and this is what I fucking love about some of the things on social media, and I'm like, that's why when I see these girls I think, keep doing what you're doing, like never stop. It's so powerful. Like so many people write shit on their posts as well, and I'm like, oh, you're promoting diabetes, you're promoting unhealthy. It's like, no, they're not, they're literally so normal size, like just shut the fuck up, like trying out your ass. But anyway, and then you go on there and you just see that stuff on your For You page, and you're like I think you look amazing, but you look like me, so why would, so do you know what I mean? So it's like, it's so funny because you get caught in this, well, I get caught in this battle where I'm like, oh, feel a bit insecure, want to change, blah, 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 and then I go on that and think, and then you see these girls like radically accepting themselves, like literally like videos of people like, look at my back rolls, I fucking love them, and then you see it and you're like, it just lets you do that too. And we've been brought up to never be allowed to do that, and it's like so refreshing, and they're being like pure vulnerable and showing like I said, flaws. Again, they're not flaws, but they're doing it as a point of like, I love this, society says it's a flaw, but I love it, and then that allows you to do that too. So that's just an example of like how you can do it on a macro scale on the internet, but then obviously on a micro scale in just your life, like you just being yourself with other people and like embracing exactly who you are allows that other person to do that. That's why you have a deeper relationship.
Yes, I love that. Yeah, because you're like, by you stepping into your real self, you allow others to do that too.
Yeah.
It's like your energy is open to it. You're like, I am authentically me. And I just bloody absolutely love those body positivity influence as well, because I always think in that moment, like all those amazing girls I say, I just think you have set yourself free from all these horrible like society things.
Yeah.
And it is just such a big flip as well from what we grew up surrounded by to what it is now. It's a massive difference. So I think that just takes
I've got mad respect for them, and they always have a massive why behind why they're doing it, because to put yourself up online like that, it's you need a lot of balls, and majority of them have been on the other side where they've felt so unaccepting of their body that they pushed it to limits that were totally unhealthy and nearly killed them. Like with like serious restriction of what you're eating, exercise, like all this stuff, and they've experienced the horrible dark side of that, of listening to society telling you that you're not good enough, of letting that that little voice inside your head say, yeah, you need to change, yeah, you look shit, yeah, no one like is gonna love you, blah blah, all those things you think not good enough. And what if you fully give into all of those thoughts, what the reality of that manifests? They've experienced that, so that's why they can then stand up and like do this online. You wouldn't have the motivation to do that unless you had a huge why behind it. They've experienced the horribleness on the other side if you don't take this self-love approach and this self-acceptance approach, which is what like drives them to do it. But the next other reason why intimacy is important is that it improves your mental health and other people's mental health just collectively, because when you well, it kind of relates to the example I've just spoke about there with the body positivity thing. Like, those girls there are showing that I look how I look and I fucking love myself, and they're glowing. So then it allows other people to feel comfortable to do that as well. So in the same way, like whatever you're doing with sharing some level of vulnerability, not saying it's only possible if you do it on the internet with the thousands of people, but like even if you're doing it on just with your friend, like with just people you actually know in your life physically, if you are opening up and like talking, sharing about whatever, like even about when you're really happy, do you know what I mean, like the good things too, it's just really good your mental health as well.
No, it is, because I think as well in terms of like relationships and friendships, if you struggle with intimacy and you struggle with being vulnerable, then you're less likely to talk about your mental health and how you're feeling. And obviously we all know that if you bottle it up, you're going to feel a lot worse. Like it's really good to get it out, get it spoken, and 9 times out of 10 someone like can completely relate to how you're feeling. They might even be feeling the same. So I think working on your intimacy and vulnerability really improves your mental health, because it just allows you to actually show up and say, this is how I feel today, and that's okay.
Yeah, and do you know what as well I was thinking about when we were writing down the topics for the episode? Sometimes it can be really hard to open up and be vulnerable, but like talk about your difficult emotions with someone if you've grown up or had experiences before that kind of scarred you, that where you haven't been able to do that, you've not been allowed to, like because that other person couldn't hold space, like what we were saying at the start. And it's not because they're a dick, it's because they can't actually hold the space for themselves, let alone for you. Like there's so many reasons why you might have had a bad experience, but I actually think going to therapy, one, not only fixes you and helps you, but also what you're doing is you're retraining yourself to be vulnerable, because you're training yourself, because it's like exposure therapy. It's as in that's what's going on when you're actually having therapy as well, because you're literally sitting there and you're opening up and you're being dead vulnerable with this person. You're telling them everything that's going on in your head and what you're thinking, how you feel. Because I mean, most of the time you talk to therapists about shit that makes you sad, like more often than things make you happy. Otherwise, you wouldn't be in therapy in the first place. Do you know what I mean? But you're basically like training yourself, your mind, your nervous system, everything to be comfortable with like sharing.
Yes.
And then because that person obviously is definitely going to be able to hold space for you, because they're bloody therapists, like they're the best people best qualified people to be able to do that. So you're obviously going to have a positive experience, unless you're literally with a psycho piece of shit therapist, which I really hope you're not. And if you are, fucking bin them off and get someone else. But I would say that 99.9% of therapists are really nice people and like are good at their jobs. So you're when you go to therapy as well, it might be the first time you've ever experienced being vulnerable, being emotionally open like that. Might be the first time you've ever done it. I know that girls talk a lot about their feelings, but maybe men don't like how we do. So therapy might be the first time they've ever done it. And then you obviously going to have a positive response, a positive experience, because that therapist is obviously not going to like invalidate you or anything like that. Like they're going to do everything that you need, that you would need to feel safe to do it again. So then you're basically training yourself to then be able to go out into life and be comfortable with your feelings and talk about them with other people too, because you're not like, do you know what I mean? You're not scared because you've had that positive experience. Even if somebody does, you do go out into life and talk to someone who's not a therapist about how you feel, just your friend, and they can't meet you there for whatever reason, then because you've had that experiencing it in therapy, you also get to meet yourself on that deep level as well. You create an intimacy with yourself every time you open up more with other people. It won't hurt as much, or you'll have more resilience to be able to deal with someone else not being able to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's a lot of waffle, but it makes sense.
No, it makes complete sense. And I think that's the thing with therapy as well, that even though it's so powerful in those moments, it changes your life forever, because like you said, you're training your mind to be more open, more vulnerable in those conversations. So then further down the line, it could even be years ahead, you might have even stopped therapy, you'll be more willing to step into those places because you've said it before, you've opened yourself up to that. But that is why, of course, our podcast is just perfectly aligned with our sponsor, who are BetterHelp, who are an online professional counselling service, who can set you up with your own therapist in just 2 days. So say if you're maybe struggling with intimacy, maybe you're thinking, I want to have those conversations where someone is going to hold that space for me in a professional manner and I can train myself to be more intimate, then they will set you up with the perfect person. And even as we just said, if you're not too keen on your therapist, they will change your therapist until you're happy for free.
And if you're really scared to talk to your therapist and you don't want to make eye contact with them, you don't have to with BetterHelp, because you can actually just talk to them on the phone. It's all done from the comfort of your own home. You don't have to travel anywhere. There's no awkward waiting rooms. You don't need to sit there in a room with someone if you don't want to. Like, some people don't feel comfortable with that. Also, sometimes it's not like it's just like not time efficient or whatever. Like, it's you just want to remove the barriers that are there to getting you to therapy. So just being able to do it, you can sit in your car and do it. Like, how many people, there's a lot of people, they sit in the car and they have therapy. Like, they talk to the therapist on the phone or like on Zoom.
Yeah, it's new
car
world.
therapy, like not driving while you're doing it, dangerous. Like parked. yeah, anyway, basically you can do it wherever you want.
Yeah.
And so yeah, you can talk to them on a video call if you are comfortable with the eye contact. I mean, you can't really stare into someone's eyes that much on a video call anyway. But if you don't want to do that, you can do the phone. If you don't want to do the phone, you can just do the chat box or emails and still get therapy that way. Like, they'll work around you, and obviously you can build up that layer of intimacy and vulnerability with therapists. But the best thing about it all is that we have a discount for you, obviously. You get 10% off your entire first month of therapy with BetterHelp if you just head to the link betterhelp.com/finding your feet. That's betterhelp.com/finding your feet. The link is in the show notes. It automatically gives you the discount when you click and sign up through that link. And you can be intimate and vulnerable with a therapist in just 48 hours. Sign up for an account.
Okay, so now we've covered off like the basic signs and why it's important to bring more intimacy into your life. Just some reasons why you might actually struggle, just so you understand there's absolutely nothing wrong with you. So one of the main reasons is that it's because of something you may have gone through in your childhood, which can create trauma. And as we always say, like, trauma doesn't have to be something really scary. Trauma is how you've interpreted something. It's not actually what's happened, it's how your brain has interpreted it. So just as a basic example, if you were never allowed to show your emotions, if you were never met in a safe way when you're feeling sad or vulnerable, then you may completely close off to that, and you just think, well, it's much safer for me to not be vulnerable because no one can hold space for me. And that little belief is stored in your subconscious mind, and that's just what will play out in your life, and that's totally natural. But it can be changed through just a little bit of work and a little bit of reprogramming.
Yeah, because it could literally be like something so small, like, oh, I was on the playground at primary school and Sally, fucking bitch, I told her that I was sad because the tooth fairy only left me 50p instead of £1. She told me to shut the fuck up and get over myself. And then I couldn't be emotionally vulnerable with anyone ever since.
Yeah, exactly. And then you think it sounds silly, but it's not, because it's literally just how your brain has interpreted it, like how you felt at the time.
Yeah, and I think another reason, like, why people will struggle is not just obviously things from upbringing or childhood, but also like scars from things in adult life, like especially I'd say probably more romantic relationship wise, but it could definitely happen in friendships too, if you maybe friends with like tilt twat or something, or like a narcissist, or like just was like a weirdo. But you know, if you got those like kind of wounds, those scars, like just from adult relationships too, where I don't know, like you open up to someone and like they used it against you or something. Do you know what I mean? Like some people are fucking horrible.
Yeah.
Like those like proper nasty people that like use your weaknesses and insecurities back against you. So then you're gonna obviously then be guarded and scared to actually let someone see your insecurities and weaknesses if they've been used as a weapon against you by some, do you know what I mean? Thrown back at you. And obviously that's literally only in the case with like horrible people, like good, nice people would never do that to you. But obviously if you've experienced that, then you will be guarded because of that. Like there's so many reasons like why.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's all so like valid and like it's completely understandable. But it's like, but if you want, so say you got rid of those bad people and you're moving forward in your life and you've got good people around you, to have the best relationships with those people, the deepest connections like will require you to be that more vulnerable self. So then it's about training yourself to be comfortable to do that so you can get the best.
Yeah, because when people go through like heartache and stuff, they might have opened themselves up to that person fully, and then they have like their heart shattered.
Yes.
And then they struggle to like trust again and open themselves up, and that's struggling with intimacy. You know, like when you see like on TikTok and you see everywhere really, like where girls like laugh and joke and say like, oh, like you can't break my heart, like I'm made of stone or whatever. You know, like they joke about the fact that they have all these like guards up, but it's like you just said, if you want beautiful, nourishing relationships, you have to be vulnerable. Like you have to step into that. Like it's not cool or funny to be like, oh, you can't get into me, but I want to have a relationship with you, because how's that going to work?
Yeah, because it's like on trend. Well, it's on trend. It's not on trend. It's trending on TikTok. No, like it's societal trend to pretend to be like cold and cool.
Yeah.
And like toxic. And like, you know.
Yeah.
But But what about the little sweethearts?
Okay, so how to improve intimacy in your life? I think mainly just building on your self-worth and understanding that you do deserve intimacy. Even if you don't like naturally flow to it, you do deserve it. So I think stepping into that self-worth and understanding that I want intimacy and I can improve it is like the first step.
Into me see.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't even say that, did we?
Yeah. Into me see. Intimacy. Yeah, definitely. Like, you deserve the best, you know?
Yeah.
And like, if you've never had someone, if you've never experienced, maybe growing up from a caregiver, someone who let you be you, or like in whatever form that is, or let you express your emotions or anything, just yourself. Like, as an adult, you're allowed that. Like, you deserve that.
Yeah.
And you can create that, because if you hold that within yourself, then you're definitely attracting people that just mirror that to you and like hold that for you too.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, you deserve the best.
Yeah. But I think as well, for like improving that intimacy, I think if you struggle to like share your feelings, you struggle to be vulnerable, I think just take it in steps, and like in that moment where you feel like, oh, this feels a bit vulnerable, I'd rather not share. It's easier to just not tell someone how I'm feeling. Like, just get a little bit uncomfortable and just think, I'm going to step into this, and like those little moments are actually going to help my relationships transform and grow. I think it's just being aware of that and pushing yourself a little bit further.
Yeah, but I'd always say as well, push yourself with the right people. Don't push yourself with the wrong people, because I've definitely had that before, where I've been like, will notice patterns within myself where I would have shied away or whatever, and been like, oh no, you always do this, like, don't, it's okay. And then I've kind of like thrown myself into the wolves a little bit, because actually like it wasn't the right person to be like that with. So always go with your gut instinct and listen to that, because it's always right on like who you're. So if you have like an intimacy problem, not say problem, but I mean problem, you know, it's something you struggle with, or you struggle to be kind of vulnerable, but you want to be that. You're inspired and you're motivated by this episode. You want to join in the club. Do it with the right people. That's why like going to therapy is great, because that person will definitely meet you on a really positive level, and it will calm you, and it will build up evidence that it's safe to do that with other people. But you know, like, so, but say you're not with a therapist and you're just doing it with other people, like, don't pick your shitty friend, don't pick a toxic boy, like, do it with good people, like, that in your gut you know are good people, and then you will have that. Because if you've always had a bad experience, and then you go again and you like push yourself and you're like, no, come on, like, step out seeing on my own, it's gonna be all right, you can do it. But you do it with the wrong people, you're gonna just be even more like fucking scarred, mate. You're like, I tried, universe, what are you doing to me, fam? You don't want that. So go do it with the right people as well. Like, that's really important, because not everyone deserves your vulnerability, man. Like, not everyone does.
No.
Pick the right people, bless the right people with the beauty of you and your feelings, your authenticity, your emotions, your essence, your soul. Give it to the right people.
Yeah.
Because you're a blessing. You're a blessing to the world.
But that basically finishes off the episode. I really hope you guys have all taken something from this, and you can go and improve intimacy in your life no matter where you're at with it.
Absolutely. Step by
Have
step.
more sex.
No, that wasn't what this episode was about.
I'm just circling back.
We're just circling back. Yeah, step by step, day by day.
Yeah, go easy on yourself too. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. If you struggle with intimacy, like, just go slow, take little steps.
There's no rush.
Trust yourself.
Have patience. There's no rush.
There is no rush.
It's okay. And the people that are good people, that maybe might notice that you hold back, but that you're trying, they'll give you the space to grow.
Yes,
Do you know what I mean? They won't push you. So don't do it to yourself as well. Like, just, we're all on our journeys and our paths. Respect that.
Yeah.
Respect your own journey. But yeah, thanks for listening, everyone. See you next Wednesday. If you loved this, star rate us. Apple and Spotify. You can write a review on Apple too. We need to get the Spotify ratings up. I keep saying this. We're stuck on a certain number and I don't really know why.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. There's so many more of you that listen than rate. It's not fair. Making me sad, man.
Yeah, just go and do it now. It'll take literally a fraction of a second. You just press 1.
I go around and rate everyone.
Yeah,
everyone.
And it brings back so much to you.
Yeah, I'm going to give what I want to receive. Good energy.
If you want a good day, go and rate us.
Yeah. No, I do. Even if I've just listened to like 30 seconds of someone's podcast, or like I see they're a new podcast and they've literally just started, where I'm like, 5 stars. You're sick. If I haven't listened. Anyway, see you later.
Bye.